This is BBC News with the latest headlines for viewers in the UK and around the world. Hello and welcome to audiences in the UK and around the world. We're covering all of the latest coronavirus developments here in Britain and globally. Here, the British Health Secretary says everyone can see it is too early to make changes to the nationwide coronavirus lockdown. Matt Hancock says a formal decision will be announced this afternoon. The opposition Labour Party says it will back the government, but is asking for more clarity on how and when the lockdown will end. Well, as the number of people who've died rises, tributes have been paid to a pregnant nurse who died with COVID-19. 28-year-old Mary Agyewa Agyapong worked at Luton and Dunstable Hospital in South East England. Her baby was successfully delivered by caesarean section on Sunday. The hospital says the child is doing very well. In the United States, President Trump has said that the country has passed the peak of new COVID-19 cases and will later announce plans to reopen parts of the American economy. Here in the UK, in a leaked letter seen by the BBC, senior social care officials have criticised the government's handling of the pandemic. It describes the national distribution of personal protective equipment to care homes as shambolic. And another development in South Korea, President Moon Jae-in has won overwhelming a landslide victory in the country's parliamentary elections. Voters backed the government's response in the fight against COVID-19, which has seen the number of cases fall from a peak of 900 a day in late February to less than 30 new cases each day. Let's speak to our assistant political editor, Norman Smith, who joins us from his home in North London. Norman, this official confirmation then, which many had foreseen, an extension of 3 weeks to the lockdown in the UK. Let's talk more about when the lockdown should be ended and how. With us is Carol Sikora, Professor of Medicine at the University of Buckingham. Professor Sikora, thank you very much for joining us here on BBC News. I just want to start with just how infectious it's believed COVID-19 is if left unchecked, and how effective in bringing down that infection rate you believe the lockdown has been. Somebody's seen you on the telly and they've sent you a text. We'll let you answer it. Professor Carol Sikora from the University of Buckingham, good to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
In the United States, President Trump has claimed the country has passed the peak of new coronavirus infections. At his daily briefing, he said that states across the country were in a strong position to reopen the economy and that he would announce guidelines for that in a news conference later today. The president has been at loggerheads with state governors about the timing of easing restrictions and reopening businesses. His upbeat assessment comes as the number of deaths is shown to have doubled within the last week. David Willis reports. Well, this is the moment that Captain Tom crossed the finishing line. The latest coronavirus figures in China show a rise in locally transmitted cases for the first time in more than 3 weeks, including 3 in the capital, Beijing. UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, thank you for taking time to talk to us.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you. Take a look at the weather forecast now with Carol.